Dear participants, it is indeed great pleasure to introduce and welcome Dr. Anita Auti Madam. Madam, on behalf of all the organizing institutions and all the participants and organizing committee, I extend warm welcome to you. Welcome, madam. Welcome for this national workshop on research methodologies in geography. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dear participants, it is indeed great pleasure to introduce Dr. Anita Auti, madam. She is working as a associate professor and head department of geography, ICS College Khed, and very recently she has been interviewed for the post of professor, and the committee recommended his promotion to the post of professor. So I may call to her professor in geography, one of the professors in geography in the Konkan region. She is recognized PhD research supervisor of University of Mumbai. She has been felicitated by University of Mumbai with Savitribai Phule Best Teacher Award. She honored by 8 institutions and organizations as a best teacher for academic and social contribution. She has been contributing as a chairperson for SYBA and TYBA geography syllabus. Also, she worked as a paper setter, examiner, moderator for university level examinations. Uh, Almost for last 10 years, she has been working as a board of studies member in University of Mumbai, and she has been contributed a lot for the development of the curriculum. With the initiation of Dr. Anita Auti, very recently University of Mumbai has introduced the paper of tourism geography, and it will definitely helpful for the development of culture for the tourism development in the Konkan region. She contributed to Marathi Vishwakosh Part 20 as an expert in geography. She has been written 6 textbooks and contributed as a resource person at various national and international conferences organized throughout the India. She has been delivered a show related to non-academic topics in schools, colleges and society, and her interest in tourism geography, and she has very much expertise in tourism geography, and we can experience with her day-to-day lifestyle also. She is an active member of Worldwide Fund, then Bombay Natural History Society, Maharashtra Pakshi Mitra Samiti, as well as Marathi Sahitya Parishad, etc. With this warm introduction, with this very short introduction, I would like to welcome and invite Dr. Anita Auti, madam. Madam, I request you kindly enlighten all the participants in the area of research techniques in geography, and I am sure that all the participants will be definitely benefited by your deliberative and resourceful lecture. Please, please.
Okay, thank you, sir, for introducing me in this way, because as I know, all we are students of geography, though I have been recently interviewed for professor, what you have said. I think that we all are students until the last our breath. We are students, and we want to do something in our field, as well as we want to learn something for all the students also. Means I am of that nature. Whatever the new technologies are coming, we are not that much familiar with all these technologies, but students are more familiar, and so we can learn something from them also. So once again, thank you. and it's my pleasure to deliver lecture today. And in the beginning only, I should say thank you for you and your college, as we are very much close to each other. So thank you once again for Atle Sapre Pitre College for organizing this national level workshop. Today, I think it's 18th day of lecture, and so many experts or research persons have delivered lectures on different issues and different topics. So at the same time, today it's a particularly topic which was given to me. It was research techniques in tourism geography. In this short period, it is not possible to teach or to express all these techniques, but I have tried few things here, and I have taken one case study also, and regarding that case study, I am going to explain you satisfaction index and something related to Likert scale also. So now I will share my PPTs. Yes, once again, welcome all of you, all the students, research scholars, as well as my colleagues from different parts who have interest in tourism. And all we are knowing that it is not possible without the research in our academic field. So whatever I have experienced and whatever I have got knowledge from my teachers or from my colleagues, that I want to share with you. Today's our lecture is going to organize in this way. Introduction. In short, I have introducing research meaning. Then in short, qualitative and quantitative data, things to remember, types of tourism research process, Likert scale and its types, data analysis, satisfaction index, research techniques and tests, and research areas in tourism. So hope that our conversation will be beneficiary for all of you, and also it will be helpful to me also with the conversation or after the question answer session with you also. So we will start here, and I'm also thanks to all the institution for giving me this opportunity to deliver this lecture in our national workshop. So meaning of research, because so many lectures have been conducted regarding the research and regarding the qualitative, quantitative data, field work, and primary data collection, and so many things almost all covered by all the experts who have given lectures before 15 days, means continuous this series is going on. So here I have taken in short the meaning of research. Research is the study of reality, that is how things work in the real world. So therefore, researchers often engage in the field work to uncover contextual elements and to explore unknown territory or culture to support their arguments and assertions about how reality works. As per the Liang and Liu, he has quoted in his book in 2006. So fieldwork is defined because fieldwork is a part of our research, and so we should know the basics of all these things also. So fieldwork is defined as the process of data collection using different methods such as participant observation and unstructured interviews. Fieldwork is invaluable to our understanding of tourism also. Fieldwork in tourism research, nothing that it is that part of the research process that is regarded as a form of escape from classrooms, universities, and the home environment. This every time we are learning in our classroom, so sometimes it becomes more. But now in this pandemic situation, we are observing different type of climate. So everybody now wants to go into the college or universities and come back again in our day-to-day life. But when we are doing research, that time we want to go from out of our classrooms or universities or where we are working or our home environment for further research. What is the qualitative data? Qualitative data is non-statistical and is typically unstructured or semi-structured information. This data isn't necessarily measured using hard numbers used to develop graphs and charts. Instead, it is categorized based on properties, attributes, labels, and other identifiers. Qualitative data can be used to ask the question why. It is investigative and is often open-ended until further research is conducted. Generating this data from qualitative research is used for theorization, interpretations, developing hypotheses, and initial understandings. Qualitative data can be generated through text, documents, audio and video recordings, interviews, transcripts, and focus groups, observations, and notes also. Then what is quantitative data? Contrary to qualitative data, quantitative data is statistical and is typically structured in nature, meaning it is more rigid and defined. This data type is measured using numbers and values, making it a more suitable candidate for data analysis. Quantitative data can be generated through tests, experiments, surveys, market reports, and metrics. What is the difference between quantitative and qualitative data? Quantitative data can be counted, measured, and expressed using numbers, but qualitative data is descriptive and conceptual. Qualitative data can be categorized based on traits and characteristics, and also qualitative research methods like ethnographic, grounded theory, and so on, as well as qualitative methods of data collection like interviews, analysis of documents, and so on. So many things are included there, and qualitative methods of analysis. What is quantitative data? We were discussing. Contrary to qualitative data, quantitative data is statistical and is typically structured in nature, meaning it is more rigid and defined. This data type is measured using numbers and values, making it a more suitable candidate for data analysis. Quantitative data can be generated through tests, experiments, surveys, market reports, metrics. Then what is the difference between quantitative and qualitative data? Quantitative data can be counted, measured, and expressed using numbers. Qualitative data is descriptive and conceptual, and this data can be categorized based on traits and characteristics. Qualitative research methods, for example, ethnographic, grounded theory, and so many things are included, as well as qualitative methods of data collection, interviews, analysis of documents, and so on, as well as qualitative methods of analysis are included in qualitative research. Then things to remember. So when we are doing research, what things we have to remember, or when we are going for field work, before that we should do some preparation. So regarding that, in the field of tourism or any research field, we have to do some preparation work before going the research. So recognize the role and scope of travel research. Means what things are related to the travel research, who have done before research in this particular field of tourism, or what you are going to take as a theme of your research. Means suppose you are going to study related to the potential of any potential of tourism in any place. So regarding that, you have to do the study first. What type of study has been taken place in India or in Maharashtra or in all over the world regarding the potential of tourism in different parts or different areas of the world. So such type of, or any other topic which we are going to take, that time we have to do such type of some preparation. So what is the role of travel and tourism industry? Everybody, we are aware now, tourism industry is known as one of the biggest industry and fastest industry in the world. So it is giving thousands of job opportunities every day, and because of that, in the last 1.5 year, it has been in a problem, or there are lot of problems are faced by tourism industry. But I'm sure that within a few months it will come back or bounce back, and it will get the position. So what type of the scope is there for travel research, in which area we are going to do the research. So regarding that, whatever things are there, we have to prepare first, we have to do the study, then we have to learn the travel research processes, then the study of secondary data and how it can be used. Means what type of research work you are going to do. Regarding that, different types of secondary data we have to collect first, or we have to search them, we have to study them, we have to analyze them, read them, because it is very lengthy process. If somebody says that without any secondary data I can do the research, so it is not possible, because in most of the areas we are not getting actually primary data. So at that time secondary data becomes more valuable, more important, and because of that, whenever we are going into those areas where we can get such type of basic information from the local NGOs, local Gram Panchayat or Nagar Palika or local authority. So many newspapers are there, magazines are there, tourist books are there. So all these are coming, and even now we are living in the techno period. So through internet, through different websites, we are getting secondary data also, and all these secondary data is very huge data. So which data is suitable for my research, that we have to think, and we according to that we have to use that secondary data, and how it will be helpful, how it will be used in my research, that depends upon us. So we have to study the secondary data, because nowadays so many people are not ready to read the material, because it is very vast material is available in our around or in our surrounding region. अपने आजू बाजू में हम लोग बोलते हैं so many things are available. So we are trying to get the shortcuts. So in research there are no shortcuts. So you have to read all this material, all the secondary data, and then only you are going to categorize that which is useful, which is not useful just now. Maybe it will be useful for another time, next time I will use this type of data. Then understand the methods of collecting primary data. What is the source? Means day before yesterday there was a lecture of Sanjukta ma'am regarding the primary data. So there is no need to go in detail, but at least we should know what is the importance of primary data, because in our subject, without primary data, without field work, it is not possible to conduct the research. So different types of collecting primary data are very much important, and you can follow, you can use any methods which are suitable according to your research. Then information regarding who does the travel research. So who is doing travel related research? Lot of such now blogs are there, or YouTube channels are also there, and in which part of our country or our region, your area, you are going to do the research, and who have done before research, what is the situation at that time, what is the current situation, or what will be in future. Regarding that, all such type of information we have to collect in our research, and so that type of our attitude should be there, and we don't use any such type of shortcuts. Then what types of tourism research we can do in our as per our interest, as I can say that the economic impact of tourism, or social impact of tourism. So regarding that, there are so many such type of options are available, and everybody's interest is different from each other, and so as per our interest we can do what type of economic impact of tourism has taken place in that particular tourist place or any village or any city or any country. So economic impact, because as we all are aware about that, this tourism industry has brought lot of change in our economy also. Maybe regarding the exchange of foreign currency or collection of revenue, job opportunities or income sources, and so many things are there. Increasing value of land also is there, develop infrastructural developments are there. So these types of so many things which are taking place due to the development of tourism, all they are going to affect on the local people as well as that village, that region, area, or the country also. So economic impact of tourism you can do as a as per your interest. Then awareness and image research. Awareness means if we take the example of our Konkan region, because in India we have lot of potential for the development of tourism, but most of the states are not knowing about the potential of tourism. So we should know about what we have first. Means it is said that before 40 years ago, people were not ready to develop tourism industry or tourist related activities in Konkan. So because of that, we have not developed tourism industry up to its potential. But now in last 10-15 years, people are knowing the importance of tourism. They are becoming aware because of so many things which are taking place in and surrounding areas of our Konkan region. So how the life of people is going to change. So according to that, people are getting the information. They are observing. They are taking the experiences of others, and from other villages or other people, people are awareing. They are becoming self-dependent. They are knowing the information, and they are now ready to develop the tourist activities in these villages, and they are trying to aware others also. So if I am again taking one example, turtle tourism in Vedas, when it was started in 2006, I think it was first started, and the only village Vedas where it started, and from 2006 to up to 2021, so many other villages have also taken the tourism, turtle tourism as a important activity in their villages. In Ratnagiri district, in Sindhudurg district, or in particularly Raigad district, Palghar district, Thana district, so many districts of Konkan region, all they are now celebrating the turtle festival because of only one village of Vedas. So these people were well aware what they have, what type of development we can do in our village, and with the proper care of environment, or through sustainable development, through ecotourism, how we can develop tourist industry in our village. Means that type of awareness was there in that village, and people were ready to accept the change, and they tried according to that, and they got the various types of trainings by forest department, by NGOs, and because of that they were well aware, and according to that they have made their image in entire India. Some international organizations are also coming to Vedas to see this turtle festival. Means this image they have created in the tourism industry because of the awareness, because of the their attitude, their efforts, and so such type of things we have to develop in our surrounding also. And if it is possible, then only we can develop our tourism industry in Konkan region or any other states of India. So also we can do the research related to visitor satisfaction research. Means that I have taken as a case study. This visitor satisfaction means because of, as I said earlier, all the tourists are not coming for the same purpose. Means everybody's interest, everybody's purpose is different. Some people are coming to enjoy the beaches. Some people are coming to enjoy the history, religious tourist places, or some other interests are there. So according to the tourist interest, we cannot satisfy each and every tourist who are coming to visit in our area. So it's our duty or other local authority or government and as well as NGOs and the all people or local people, they can come forward and what type of the requirement is there, means good condition roads, good hotels, good means in the manner clean hotels, because I have visited so many tourist places. I have also visited some European countries. I have also been in Mauritius. So I have seen that people are not required good means starred hotels, 5-star, 3-star, 7-star hotels, but at least clean hotels we can provide them. Good condition roads, because nowadays from last few years we are facing the problems of road conditions in most of the parts of Maharashtra. So these types of things are there, then we cannot develop tourism. So that type of satisfaction index also we can conduct in our area, in any tourist place, how the tourists are coming, from which places they are coming, what is their satisfaction regarding different factors, means regarding food, regarding transportation, regarding road condition, regarding hotels or other amenities which are available in that particular place. So visitors can, visitors, tourists can give their suggestions. They some things they are liking, some things they are not liking. So according to that, we can do the satisfaction index and we can calculate it also. Then we can do the SWOT analysis also. SWOT analysis, as everybody is knowing about these 4 letters, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Means in our country, we have lot of strength for the development of tourism, but there are lot of weaknesses also, and we have lot of opportunity at the same time, and also threats on the another side. Means all the things which we are going to overcome, we have to study first what are our strengths in the tourism field. According to that, we have to identify our strengths, we have to develop them. Then what are the weaknesses? If I take the example of Khajuraho temples, means now they are known at world level, but before few years ago, Khajuraho temples are not known by the local people also. But when these Khajuraho temples have been developed as a important tourist product by the government, and they developed the road transportation, railway transportation, as well as air transportation, good facilities of hotels and other amenities have been developed there. And now within a few years, this Khajuraho temple has become one of the most important tourist place in the world map. Means this is the strength of India, but due to the weaknesses, due to the problems, we cannot develop each and every tourist place as a world level tourist place or world level tourist product. So that is our weaknesses, that we have the potential, that we have the opportunities. Each and every tourist place should be developed according to its potential. If we try, if we means with the collaboration of local authority or state government or national government through various policies, if we are going to develop all these things, then we can do lot of things in the field of tourism. So regarding that, there is opportunity for research to all of us, and we can do such type of researches. So selecting or identifying one tourist place, we can go there, we can visit, and we can identify the strengths of that place, what are the weaknesses, what are the opportunities to become one of the most important tourist place, and then what are the threats for the development of that place as a tourist product in our country. So regarding that, we can do the SWOT analysis. Then consumer or tourist behavior research. Means if you see what type of behavior is seen in most of the tourist places in India, in other countries in the world, if you go, means I have visited, so I can say definitely the tourists are behaving properly. They are not throwing dust, means whatever our solid waste material or waste material anywhere, means they are taking care, they are taking precaution. But in our country we are throwing anything anywhere. So that type of behavior of tourists, how they are thinking, what is their way of behaving. Because as it is said that when we are going for the tourist activity, or when we are visiting as a tourist, uh, people are thinking that tourist means enjoying only, means they are not want to take the care of the environment, or they are not caring about the social environment or social culture of that particular place. So that type of survey we can do in the tourism research also. And means tourist means the consumer, or the people who are coming there, who are buying different types of goods or the souvenirs which are famous of that region. Local products are, means arts, or so many things are there, crafts are also there. So all these things regarding that we can do the behavior, tourist behavior research also. Then future research also we can take as a part of our research. What is going to take place in future, means what is the current situation, what was the past situation, how it has been developed, and according to that what will be in future, whether it is going to on the way of sustainable or responsible tourism, or on the way of ecotourism development, or whether it is going to disastrous nature. So that type of research we can take as our research part. We can do the research in any one field and or any place, and we can do the such type of research. We can collect the data, we can submit the report to the authorities also. In future, if you are not going to take care of these things, these things are going to take place after few years. So like that, ban on plastic, or ban on others for plastic bottle, carry bags, and so many other things have been taken place in Himachal Pradesh or Uttarakhand. And according to that, we can also do the research what is going to take place in future. So as well as the destination vision research also we can do. Whatever means tourist places are there, what is the vision of that particular tourist place, means the destination tourist place, means how they want to develop, what is the policy regarding the development of tourism. Because we don't want any such type of things that took place due to the development of tourist activity in our tourist place, or we don't want the loss of biodiversity, or environmental imbalance or pollution, like that things we don't want. So we should have the proper vision when we are going to develop the tourist place. And as per that policy, as per the planning, we should have some goals, we should have some vision, and according to that we are going to develop that tourist place. Then when we are doing that research related to tourism, what type of procedures or process we have to follow, identify the problem, or you can choose the topic, then conduct the situation analysis, means what is the situation in that area, what we have to do the research, what type of research it is required, what is the earlier researchers have done the research, and what type of data is available, what is now problems in that particular place. So according to that we are going to handle the situation, or we have to do the analysis of the data which has been already available in that area. Then we can conduct the informal investigation. Informal investigation means, because sometimes people are not giving actual data, actual information. So through various ways that we are knowing very well how to collect the data, through questionnaire or through observation, through our experiences. So such type of some informal investigation is also required when you are going to do the research. Because when you are going to ask people directly what is your annual income, nobody will tell you. Neither the researcher will tell you, neither the local person, hotelier, nobody is giving you the proper information. So according to your visualization or according to your experience, your observation, we can get the data, we can identify the situation, and we can get the data also. Means if it is that person has come from four-wheeler, two-wheeler, or public transportation, according to that, what is his economic condition, we are getting, or lifestyle, or his behavior in that tourist place, or in that nearby his sightseeing, when he is doing the sightseeing. At that time also we can observe these things, and we can get the informal information. Then develop a formal research design, as we are doing most of the times. We are preparing questionnaires, we are preparing the lot of things, we are taking interviews, we are taking photographs. Then what type of information from so many hoteliers, local people, or the shopkeepers, or other persons. We are collecting all this information according to our requirement, and we are designing our information. We are doing analysis, and all this tabulation and analyze, or using various techniques, map, charts. All these things we are doing every time as a part of our research. So after collecting the data or tabulating and analyzing the data, we are interpreting it properly using various techniques, or varying statistical tools now are available, and such type of tools or techniques we can use here, and we can prepare our report also. Then here I am discussing about the Likert scale, which is mostly or commonly used in the field of research in tourism. So what is the Likert scale? Likert scale is a one-dimensional scale that researcher use to collect respondents' attitude and opinion. Means it is very easy when we are collecting data through the questionnaire. We are getting a lot of information through this questionnaire, and through the, if we are using the Likert scale technique, then we are getting some opinions, attitudes of the tourist, as well as the respondent. Maybe he or she is a tourist, or the local shopkeeper, or the hotelier, anybody who is there, which we want to collect the data, and according to that we are collecting the information, as well as we have to use this psychometric scale to understand the views and perspectives towards the brand, or towards the product, or the service, or the target market. Means which person we require, or which type of survey we are doing, any particular product of that particular place, if you are taking as a research, or various services which are available in that tourist place, if we are taking those services as our research priority, or any brand, or any target market, according to that we can get the views and perspectives of the tourists, or the people. Then different variations of Likert scale are focused directly on measuring people's opinions, such as the Gottman scale, or Bogard scale, and Thurston scale. Psychologist Renis Likert, he has established a distinction between a scale that materializes from a collection of responses to a group of items, maybe 8 or more, and the responses are measured in a range of values. So when we collect the information through the Likert scale, we collect the feedback. The researcher used a Likert scale question in the form of dichotomous option questions listed as agree or disagree. Then when responding to an item on the Likert scale, the user responds based explicitly on their agreement or disagreement level. Likert scale assumes that the strength and intensity of the experience are linear. Therefore, it goes from a complete agreement to a complete disagreement, assuming that attitudes can be measured. Means if tourists are totally means happy in that tourist place, or any service which they have enjoyed, then they will say that we are fully agree, or we are agree. then if they are not happy, according to that they will register their message or register their attitude or opinion or views on the questionnaire, and we are getting such type of various views or opinions of tourists regarding the services, regarding the products, or regarding various things which are available in that tourist place. Then Likert scale is a type of rating scale used to measure attitudes or opinions. With the scale, respondents are asked to rate items on a level of agreement. So here there are some the types of scales also, odd or even, like that we will discuss in next slides. But generally there are 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7, 8, 9 Likert scale levels. So according to that, here I have shown 5 Likert scale level. Then strongly agree means people are happy, they are enjoying, they are satisfied, then they will give reply or they give their opinion like they are strongly agree. What type of question is asked, according to that they will be strongly agree for that particular service. If they are just satisfied, then they will say agree. If they are not happy also and not saying that there are worse situation or worse services, or he will not give any opinion, he will keep silence and he will be neutral. Then if he is not satisfied, he will give disagree opinion, and when he is not even little bit also satisfied, then he will give his opinion like strongly disagree. Then these are the types of Likert scale: even Likert scale and odd Likert scale. And we can get the opinion about the customer satisfaction or employee experience or the tourist satisfaction regarding to the Likert scales. Then if you discuss about the even Likert scale, researchers use even Likert scale to collect extreme feedback without providing a neutral option. Means in that there is no neutral option. 4-point Likert scale will be having only 4 options: agree, strongly agree, agree, then disagree and strongly disagree. Like that there will be 4-point Likert scale. And when we are discussing about 8-point Likert scale, then there will be moderately satisfied or moderately agreed, strongly agreed. Like that the words will be included, and according to that we are going to collect the data related to the 8-point of Likert scale. Then odd Likert scale, researcher use the odd Likert scale to give the respondents the choice of responding neutrally. Means here there is one option which is neutral. Means if they are not satisfied or if they don't want to give their opinion, they can say or stay neutral, and they give their opinion as a neutral also. So 5-point Likert scale just we have discussed. In 7-point Likert scale, 2 words are added: moderately agreed or moderately disagreed. These 2 words will be there, or these 2 options will be added in that level, and according to that we can also calculate 9-point Likert scale also. Likert scale data and analysis. When researchers use surveys regularly to measure and analyze the quality of products or services, the Likert scale is a standard classification format for studies. The respondents provide their opinion about the quality of product or service from high to low or better to worse using 2, 4, 5 or 7 levels. So here we can use any one of level for collecting the data. It is not like that you have to use 4-point or 5.7. It is depending upon us only which we are going to use as a the level of satisfaction. Then after collecting the data from Likert scale, we are going to calculate the satisfaction index of that particular factor. So here I have taken this satisfaction index formula, and according to this formula, it is SLI means mostly you are maybe knowing, but few students are there, few new research scholars are there. If they have any query, or if they have any problem, because they are also doing their research. So if anybody is interested, they can do such type of research using the satisfaction index, because it is the way of simplest formula. It is the way of the simple the research formula, and according to that, most of the people are using it when they are doing the research. So as per the formula, SLI is equal to summation of MI NI divided by N. Here SLI is equal to satisfaction index for the I factor. Then MI is equal to the numerical values for particular level of satisfaction for I factor. Then NI is the number of respondents deriving the particular level of satisfaction for the I factor, and N is the total number of respondents for that factor for all level of satisfaction. So after using this formula, I have taken one case study of Ganpatipure, which study I have done in my research work also, and that time I have calculated satisfaction of tourists in Ganpatipure, a particular tourist place which is well known and famous as a religious place, as well as it is famous for beach tourist place also. And I have taken various criteria as well as factors like as accommodation, food, transportation, behavior of local people, natural scenery, darshan facility because it is a religious place, then personal safety of the people, shopping facility, etc. Mean all these factors I have taken for the collection of my data, and according to that I have studied near about 140 means total respondents, collected the data of 140 tourists, and out of these 140 tourists, each and every person is not going to say all is good or all is well like that, so or all it is bad. I have used 4 scale level here, then excellent, good, satisfactory and unsatisfactory. So out of 140 tourists, 35 tourists said excellent for accommodation, 50 said good, then 40 said satisfactory because maybe they are not getting good quality hotels, because this survey I have done before 10 to 12 years ago. So as a case study I have taken here. Now the things have been changed in Ganpatipure. Lot of new hotels have been established, and so many other private people, private hotels or government MTDC has developed their resorts and other facilities in Ganpatipure also, as well as paying guest bread and breakfast like that. So many things have been developed in Ganpatipure. And the 40 people have said satisfactory and 15 people were not satisfied. Whatever accommodation facilities they have received in the Ganpatipure. So I have taken such type of data which has been collected by the questionnaire. Only I will discuss here because entire these all the factors it is not possible to cover. So only one criteria or one factor accommodation I have discussed here. Then how I have done calculation. Total surveyed tourists were 140. Opinion of tourists which we have discussed earlier, 35 people said excellent, good said 50, satisfied 40 and unsatisfied were 15 people. So when the tourists are saying that we enjoyed or we got the excellent accommodation facilities in this place, then they are giving the points 8 or 9 because they have said excellent or their opinion was excellent. So 9 or 8 points they have given. So suppose out of 35 who have said excellent facilities, out of them excellent means 9 or 8 points. Suppose 35 said excellent, then out of 35, 15 tourists said 9, they have given 9 points. and remaining 20 tourists have given 8 points. So this type of calculation I have made here, 15 into 9, because 15 tourists have given 9 points and remaining 20 tourists have given 8 points. So 20 into 8, 160, and 15 into 9 is 135. So according to that, I have calculated here 135 plus 160 is equal to 295. Means total score was there 295. So how many tourists have been said excellent? 35. So 295 divided by 35, it means that 8.43 is the level of that particular criteria or factor. So as per this, we can calculate remaining values, means food or local people or darshan facility, safety of the people. So many things we can calculate, and as well as how many people have said good. So here 50 people have said good. So out of 50 people, 30 people have been good, means what? 7 or 6 points they have given as a point or value. So suppose 30 people or tourists have given 7 points, it means that 210, and remaining 20 tourists have given 6 points, it is 120. So according to that, 210 plus 120 is equal to 330 total value will be there, and divided by 50, because 50 are the total tourists who have said good accommodation. So 6.6 is the average of that particular good criteria. Then similarly, I have calculated satisfactory and unsatisfactory level, and it has come 4.38 and 2.3 respectively. So for calculation of satisfaction index, here we have to do such type of a big calculation, but it is very simple. 35 means that the total tourists who said excellent into 8.43 plus 50 who said good into 6.6 plus 40 who said satisfactory into 4.38 plus 15 who were unsatisfied into 2.53 divided by total tourist, means 140. Means I have collected the data of 140 tourists, so division is of 140. Then the total becomes 838.2 divided by 140, it comes 5.98. So finally the satisfaction index for accommodation is 5.98. So according to that, we can calculate all these types of satisfaction level for food, transportation, local people, natural beauty, darshan facility, personal safety, and shopping facility. Excellent, good, satisfactory, or unsatisfactory. According to that, after the calculation of this factor-wise satisfaction, finally we are going to rank the satisfaction index. Means here the highest rank has been given to food, 6.59, because Ganpatipure is such a tourist place where different types of variety of food is easily available, vegetarian, non-vegetarian, or typical Konkani food, what we can say. People are mostly coming here to enjoy the food also. So that food factor has got the first ranking here. Then second ranking, 6.41, has received for the natural beauty. It is a scenic place, beach place, and people means nearby on the coastal area there are some plantation also, coconut plantation, and good scenery you can see there if you go to Ganpatipure. So this natural beauty has received second rank. Then local people, behavior of local people, it has received the third rank, 6.14, because local people are also aware now about that if you behave the tourist good through oral publicity, through different ways, it goes to all the tourists, all the villages from where the tourists have come, and so because of that we have to keep good relations with the tourists. We have to behave properly with the tourists, and according to that, because tourists are paying for the facilities which we are going to provide them. So according to that, if you are not giving the good facilities or good food, then or whatever things, services we are providing them, if they are not up to their mark, people will not come. So according to that, local people have been here in the third rank. Then in the fourth rank, accommodation facility is there, which has 5.98 rank. Then darshan facility is shopping facilities on the fifth rank, because so many souvenirs or other local food products and other so many things are there for shopping purpose. So it has received fifth rank. Then darshan facility is sixth, means when you are going to visit that particular place at the peak period, at the time of Angarki Chaturthi, Vinayaki Chaturthi, or in Ganesh festival, according to that, this can be changed. Darshan facility system is going to change, and if you are going into the off season, so there will be different type of darshan facility. So these ranks can be changed if anybody is going to do the survey in the off season. So it has received the sixth rank. Then personal transportation 7, because of the road conditions, and so 8 is the personal safety, because most of the tourists are not listening, they are not taking care of themselves, they are going without any proper idea of the beach, and because of that, what is happening, some tourists have lost their lives. Though there is signing board, information is given, there are people, but sometimes it happens the personal safety is not proper there, and because of that, more than hundreds of tourists have lost their lives, and that has got the 8th rank here. But now local gram panchayat or some people are there, and they are taking the safety of tourists. So such type of satisfaction index has been calculated, and we can do the research according to our interest. Then when we are doing the research, that time different statistical techniques are there. As per our need, we can use any of them. We can do different type of statistical test. We can do chi-square test. We can do Spearman's rank test. We can do the Pearson correlation method we can use. We can do t-test, z-test, or ANOVA, or multiple regression analysis. It depends upon the need of your research. Means or what type of guidelines you are getting from your research guide or supervisor, or what is the required according to your research. Different types of tests you can use, or you can do simple satisfaction index also. You can stop there also, or you can go ahead, you can use SPSS software, and you can calculate mean, median, mode, or standard deviation also. T-test or Z-test you can do, and lot of statistical techniques are there which you can use for your study. So all these things, it depends upon you, how much interest you are taking, what type of data you are collecting, what type of conclusions you want to come out from your research. Regarding that, all these things you are going to use. So these types of some research areas are there where students can do their research, because research scholars already they have registered their topic, but the students who are doing MA or who want to do the research or research papers, research scholars we have registered, but they want to do further research in tourism field, they can go for such type of any their interested area. Potential of tourism of any place of your area, your region, your state, you can select any one place. What is the potential of your that particular place, how it should be developed, according what things you want to see in that, or what is the requirement of the tourist. According to that, potential tourist places you can take for the research. Then ecotourism places, what type of tourism industry or tourist activity should be developed in any area, means so many places are there. But when we are thinking about Simla or Manali or Darjeeling or any other tourist place which is famous as a tourist place, and after few years the another side of tourism industry is going to come forward. So that is the pollution and environment imbalance and so many things which we have means experience in Masuri. So such type of things we should don't want there. So ecotourism as a new area of the research, and we can do according to the our interest. You can select any place, you can prepare the policy for the development of that particular place according to the ecotourism development. Then sustainable development, which is also important in coming years. Sustainable tourism research you can carry out, as well as responsible tourism, means it is beneficiary for both, mean tourists also and for local people also. How the tourists have to behave in the tourist places, that is the responsible tourism. And sustainable means what should be the policies according to the development of tourist place in that particular village or in that tourist place. According to that we have to prepare the plan or policies. Then coastal or beach tourism, those places who have beaches or coast, they can do the research in coastal or beach tourism, the activities, the tourists who are coming to enjoy the beach or the beauty of the coast. Then historical tourism, our district is famous for history also, for religion, means religious tourist places also, culture also, heritage also. So lot of things are there. So we can think according to that. Historical tourism, India is well known for its history in all over in the world, as well as religious tourist places. Lot of tourists are visiting every year to various religious places. So what is the situation? Because so many researchers have selected only one religious tourist place, like Tirupati, or like you can take as a particularly Pandharpur, or Vaishno Devi, or Amarnath, or any other tourist place. Only one tourist place or only one temple they have taken, and they have done the detailed study of that particular temple, and they have done their PhD research. So according to that, we have thousands of religious tourist places in our country. So we can go according to our interest. We can select any one religious tourist place and we can carry our research. Then cultural tourism. India is rich in its culture also. So it is known as a cultural tourist place or cultural hub of the world. Different types of means folk dance or classical dances, languages, cultures, food or cuisine, whatever we can say, and local art, craft. So many things are there which are coming into the cultural tourism. So related to each and everything, we can bifurcate the cultural tourism and we can do the research in this field, as well as heritage tourism. This is one of the new form which is coming nowadays, and people are doing heritage related research also, natural heritage places, cultural heritage places, and so many things are there. According to that also we can do the research. Then I have taken one particular example of our district which is famous for turtle tourism, and this turtle tourism festival is organized during every year except this 1.5 year of pandemic situation. And Vedas or Anzarle, Murud, Karde, or Ratnagiri, or you can take the example of Guhagar, Porthare, or in Sindhudurg district, or in Harihareshwar in Raigad district. All these coastal villages are now organizing this turtle tourism festival, and local people are getting good money from the this festival, as well as sustainable tourism, ecotourism, responsible tourism. All they are going hand in hand, and people are getting their income source locally, they are not going out of their village, or they are not migrating. So this is the best example which can be a model for all the coastal villages of our Maharashtra, or all the coastal states of India. Then we can do the research related to agro-tourism, because this is also one of the important aspect of our tourism industry. Nowadays, agro-tourism has become more and more popular, and people are going to the such rural areas to get relief, to get some peace, and become refreshed. So here I will definitely take the example of China. In last year, China has decided for the development of agro and rural tourism. Why? Because of the pandemic situation. The people of city, they didn't want to stay in the city. So there were a lot of restrictions. So China government has taken the benefit of this, and they have developed agro-tourism or rural tourism, providing facilities of whatever required. Means we require now Wi-Fi, or laptop, mobile, or network issues, and all these things. A good sanitary or social sanitary facilities, social distancing, all it has been provided by the rural areas, and they have developed agro-tourism in last 1.5 years. And there was no any such type of bad or diverse impact on the tourism industry, because this agro-tourism industry has helped somehow in the China. So such type of some things we can take as a research in our area also. Then backwater tourism, in India we have lot of creeks and rivers. So such type of whatever facilities are available in Kerala. Kerala is famous for backwater tourism. Similarly, Jammu Kashmir and so many other, or Goa also. Like that, we have potential of development of backwater tourism in Maharashtra, but we have not developed up to its potential. So I have taken it. Then petroglyphs, or what we can say, the rock art. It is also known as a rock art. In Marathi, it is known as a Katal Shilpa. In Konkan region, there are thousands of rock arts have been identified, and you can take such type of surveys. So you can take such type of information, or you can collect the information, because this is very much important. And in future, we can develop these petroglyph sites as a tourist hub or tourist potential sites in our region. So similarly, there are lot of places in India where petroglyphs or rock arts are available. Medical or Ayurveda or yoga tourism is another field of research which is very much important according to the whole nation or India, because we have all the medical facilities in our country. Lot of tourists are coming to get these or for the treatment, and they are coming for Ayurveda treatment or for learning yoga and all those things. So this is some sample research areas which I have mentioned here, and there are so many things or research areas in tourism industry or in tourism related field which we can go forward, we can look there, and we can do our research regarding all these things. So here I will stop, and you can go with these research areas also, means promotion and conversion studies of MTDC or NGO. Means what type of data. MTDC means Maharashtra Tourism. I have given here one example, but according to your state, the different tourism corporations are there. What type of promotions, policies of these state governments or central governments are there. Local NGOs are also working. Operation research are also taking place. Household surveys, en route surveys you can do. Human resource related research you can do, as well as product research or return on investment. Mean how much you are going to invest and what will be the return from that tourism industry, particularly from hotels or restaurants. If you are going to start any particular facility you are providing the tourists, then according to that you can do the research also, and related to the customers or related to the tourists also you can do the research. So here I will stop. Hope something you will get from this today's lecture, and I am very much thankful to all of you for listening me, and I'm also thankful to Dr. Sardar Patil sir and the principal of Atle Sapre College and the other collaborating institutions who have organized this national level research methodology workshop, and also the all the principals of these institutes who have by heartily working from last so many days. And again I think the next 10-15 days also this workshop is going to take place. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to express my views or share my ideas or views. I will not say that I am guiding you or I am telling something new, but I am sharing my experiences, I am sharing my knowledge, what I have received, and at the same time I'm also still learning, and if there is something missing or if there is something remaining, hopefully I will come over all those things. And technically there was some problem, so I am regretting for that also. And thank you once again for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much, Sardar.
Thank you, ma'am. It was really a wonderful session because you have provided various techniques related to research in tourism geography, and not only techniques, you provided an insight related to what are the areas that may be research in the under tourism geography. So I hope and I'm sure that uh, the researchers, research students, postgraduate students might have received new ideas, and they can opt as a to filled up interest of tourism geography for research in geography. Okay.
Good evening, ma'am.
नमस्कार सर. छान झालं सेशन.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening.
गुड इव्हनिंग. हार्टी काँग्रेट्स.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dear participants, if you have any query, any doubt, or if you require any further clarification regarding to research techniques in tourism geography, you may please feel free to ask. Please.
Good evening, sir. I have a question.
Yeah, please,
Yes.
please.
Sir, actually, I want to ask one thing. Can we use SWOT analysis over satisfactory index?
No, so SWOT analysis is different. Means only you can use that SWOT analysis and you can do your research. And when you are collecting data and you are collecting information from tourists, you can use that the satisfaction index. As per my knowledge, means Chavan madam is there. She is very much senior to me, and she will also guide if I am saying something wrong. So, ma'am.
No, Anita Avti madam, you have rightly said. However, the question which he has put in query, the satisfaction index indicators which we are using, those indicators we can classify into strength, opportunities, threats, okay, and weaknesses. So while choosing indicators, we have to choose in such a way that all this SWOT analysis part is covered, and then whatever you are getting results in it, the values in it, accordingly you can interpret what is the strength and what are the threats, and then to that you can suggest various policies. This is one thing, okay? Or under observation or various literature review which you might have done for that particular area which you have studied, or maybe seeing the literature review you can compare it to your area. What are the threats that you perceive? What are the opportunities that you feel are there for that area? What are the weaknesses and how those opportunities should be tapped as potential resources, how the weaknesses could be overcome, and what are the strengths. Now, when we say strength, it is generally related to manpower, it is generally related to other infrastructure that you have, and the opportunities that we say are the resources, natural resources. That is, potentials is there, the strength is also there, but it has to be tapped. Now, why we are not able to tap? Maybe because some threats are there. What are those threats? We have to overcome them. And for overcoming, you can give the possible, or I would say feasible solutions. So that is how two way you can do. One, theoretical by your observations, you can go for SWOT, or you can choose indicators in such a way in satisfaction index calculation that all these fours, strength, weakness, opportunities and threats are covered. And those values you can use it for interpreting the SWOT analysis. I hope I have
Actually,
anything
ma'am,
else?
I have done my research in tourism geography. That's why I asked that question because
Excellent.
uh, I used the SWOT analysis for the tourism infrastructure assessment. That's
Yes,
why
yes, yes,
I
yes.
thought yeah, it would be a nice option to use satisfactory index as well in the research area.
Yeah,
Very good. Now, when you
very,
say
very.
tourism infrastructure, one we can take transport as an infrastructure, right? There are so many other things also in infrastructure. And when you take up transport, you have to go for the different modes of transport. You have to go for connectivity of transport. When we say connectivity, you have to go for network analysis. Again, not only this is sufficient, you have to see the stage of that transport. Now, supposing, for example, we have bridges, right? Now, whether that bridge is newly constructed or it is very old and it is in the stage of dilapidated condition so that any time it may collapse, So those are the threats. So this is how field survey, field observation is also required for this particular aspect when you talk of infrastructure. Same thing can be regarding water supply. What type of water supply is there? Quality of it, so quantity of it, whether it is available at sufficient points. Supply is there, quality is good, but is it easily available at different points wherever tourists are going, or one has to search for that water? That is same thing regarding sanitation, whether it is closed drainage or it is open drainage. Then again, though it is closed, whether it is treated, wherever it is being collected, it is treated or it is being just discharged into open areas elsewhere. So again, that is not good because your tourist area, you may be giving it very well to the tourist, but that waste is being dumped elsewhere, maybe in some rural area. Again, that is not good.
Yes,
So,
yes.
so many things are there, It has to be looked into an holistic way to suit everyone at the tourist place as well as those who are away from it, from the ecological point of view, economic point of view, and overall social environment. Okay,
Thank you,
thank
And
you.
ma'am. Actually, I done it for Lahul Spiti district with my primary survey. Thank you very much for that beautiful session. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
welcome. My
thank you,
pleasure.
thank you, thank you. Do any other participant has any query?
Sonia.
Sonia Gavit is,
Gavit.
yeah,
She has
Gavit,
raised the
please.
hand
Yeah, yeah.
and
Sonia
and
Gavit.
somebody is sharing the screen.
Yeah. Who is that? Please stop screen sharing. Please stop. There is one option, stop sharing. Click on that. Sonia ji, you may ask the question, please. Sonia, okay. Madam, thank you very much.
Excuse me,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, yeah. Please, please,
I
please,
have
please.
can we do like carrying capacity? Can we elaborate the methodology about social carrying capacity or tourism carrying capacity?
Yeah,
About
definitely, definitely. It will be very wonderful if you involving such an innovative ideas. And really, we need to not only social, we will look into matter social, cultural, physical, religious background also. And all this is the responsibility of the geographer, that we can uh, incorporate, or I mean collaborate all these things, and
Actually,
then
I
only
was
our
thinking.
research will be beneficial for the development of the society.
Actually, I was thinking about the carrying capacity, social carrying capacity due
Yes.
to tourism. Sometime when tourism get increase in specific area like Shimla, like
Yeah.
Manali,
Yeah. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
any other place, it usually exploit the social aspects of that area.
Yes, yes,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
However, it is a nice topic to research as well.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
will helpful for the means further policy, how there is exploitation of the local people, or so what type of negative impact is taking place on society also. So that is very much important, because everybody is saying regarding the what are the benefits of development of tourism, but on what cost we are doing tourism development, that is also important. Whether it is socially, whether it is on the cost of environment, or whether it is cost of or any loss of culture, that is also we have to think, and we have to do such type of survey also or research.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It was a nice interaction, and such type of interactions are expected in this workshop. Until and unless you ask the question, no interaction will be proceed ahead. Ma'am, thank you very much for giving your valuable time and enlightening the participants in the area of research techniques in tourism geography. On behalf of all the collaborating institutions, I extend my sincere thanks to you. I also extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Chavan ma'am, who is I can say, I have no words to
Well wisher,
convey.
guide,
Yeah, yeah.
guide,
Not only
mentor,
well
what
wisher,
you can say, all the words are
yeah, yeah.
suitable.
So
Yeah,
she is beyond that. She
yes.
always support, and today also she enlightened to all the participants that how we can collaborate or interlink the source analysis with satisfaction
Sir,
index.
just 1 second.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Please.
just happened to see the WhatsApp and I saw Anita Madam session is there today. And she's a very good friend of mine and colleague too. And so I said, no, I must listen, I must be there. And so I joined.
So
Thank
actually,
you.
I
Thank.
didn't know you are there. So otherwise, I should say thank you to you for
No,
giving me
I
much
joined
time. Yeah.
slightly late. I joined
Yeah,
slightly late.
slight late, slight late.
So thank you, ma'am, for your
Thank.
guidance, and whatever help we require, always she is there. And because of you, we are sharing such type of platforms, and we will be very much thankful always to you. You are giving opportunities wherever it is possible to us. So thank you very much, ma'am, for all these things what you are doing for us. Because yesterday I attended, but little late also, and you said that there are like that cricket team, you was giving some example, and we are middle batsman now. So the Sardar sir is frontline batsman like that, and we are little bit means now experienced, but still we are ready to learn whatever things are taking place here.
Thank
No,
you.
it's
Thank you.
it's my pleasure and moral responsibility too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
ma'am. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Dear participants, tomorrow we will have session on research techniques in agricultural geography. And yesterday we had discussion regarding patents, GI, and IPR. And regarding GI, geo indication related research, agricultural geography has better ground for the geographers. So don't miss the session tomorrow. Dr. Abhiman Nimse from Shivaji College, Satara. He is going to deliver a lecture on research techniques in agricultural geography. Thank you very much. Madam, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.